We have looked at the aims of education. We have looked at the role of education in guiding young people as they make the transition into adulthood. In this module, we are going to be looking at the curriculum, just what it is that students study, the contents of education. The term curriculum draws upon the old Latin word curare, literally meaning to progress. So we can think of the curriculum as a sort of pathway that guides students through the subject matter that they are learning till they get to the end of schooling and they can say they have acquired a certain amount of knowledge. The term curriculum is used to refer to a number of things. Most commonly, it refers to the whole program of studies that students are expected to undertake, the type of subjects that they're required to learn, mathematics, science, history. The term curriculum is also used to refer to the way that students are expected to progress through a given subject area, the way they are expected to move from more basic to advanced levels of learning. The curriculum also can refer to the ways that a subject is taught, based upon understandings about what a particular type of knowledge requires if it is going to be learned properly. So, for example, if you think that mathematics involves doing mental arithmetic, well then you will have students memorising their times tables. The curriculum is prescriptive. It lays out, it prescribes just what students will be learning. In this way, it differs from the syllabus, which effectively just describes in brief outline the list of topics that students will be taking and expectations with regard to assessment and so forth. We're interested in why the curriculum changes. Well, we can identify a number of factors that are at work here. For one thing, the curriculum is one of the major stakes in these ongoing public debates over education. These do not just involve the aims of education, what it is that we're trying to achieve through education, but also how we're trying to achieve it. How do we achieve our aims through providing students with certain types of knowledge? If you look at these debates, you will find that there are many and varied interests. Politicians, policymakers from government departments, not just the Department of Education, but also arts, science and industry. The business community, religious leaders, other community groups, educational experts, the representatives of teachers and principals, and of course, parents and students. Sometimes these interests agree with each other about what it is that students should be taught, though often not for the same reasons. Other times they disagree quite vehemently. So the curriculum as it stands at any given point of time is usually the result of a compromise among these competing and contesting interests. It is therefore never settled, highly unstable and prone to change. Secondly, society and culture changes. Think about the world that your grandparents grew up in, or even your parents. Certainly there may be things that are similar to the world that you currently occupy. However, other things would be radically different. As society and as culture changes, judgments about what knowledge is of the greatest value change as well. Third, knowledge changes as well. Now, we may grasp this a little more readily when it comes to subject matter that involves a considerable degree of interpretation, English, history, and so forth. But what about the natural sciences? Don't they deal with facts? How do these change? We commonly work with an idea of science as involving a progressive accumulation of facts, that we pile one fact on top of another fact, and sooner or later we fill out all the gaps in our understanding of the world. But that's not necessarily the way that science proceeds. Certainly, there are periods in science's history where it does work that way. But then there are other points where you have these massive ruptures, and everything that we thought we understood about something is thrown into doubt, and we have to go back and try and rework our understanding. Because of this, in the next two topics, we will look at what it means to say, I know something, and how confident we can be in that knowledge. And we will do this with specific reference to the natural sciences. Following on from that, we will track some of the major changes in the curriculum up to the present.